Okay, great. We now move on to our first keynote lecture of the session. It is my honor to welcome the two distinguished representatives from the International Olympic Academy. First, we have Dr. Makis ASIMAKOULOUPOS, Director of the International Olympic Academy, and joining him is Ms. Alexandra KARAISKOU, Head of NOC, NOAs, Relations at the International Olympic Academy. Together, they'll be delivering a keynote titled Shaping Tomorrow, the Future of Sport and the Role of the NOA and NOCs in Olympic Education, from Values to Action. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Makis and Ms. KARAISKOU to the podium, please.
Good morning. Good morning, family. All right. My speech will be a bit longer than the other ones because it's a first presentation. So, dear Mr. Kouvelos, President of the Hellenic Olympic Committee, dear Dr. Tsolakis, President of the International Olympic Academy, dear Dr. Kuntek, dear friend KT, Principal of the Singapore Olympic Academy, and Mr. Sermiang is not here. I was about to greet him, and the General Secretary of your Olympic Academy. Dear Mrs. KARAISKOU, Head of the IOA NOCs NOAs Relations, and dear Batul, Director of the Saudi Olympic Academy, dear friends, lecturers, students, friends of the Olympic movement, good morning. So happy to be here. It's a great honor to be present at the 30th annual session of the Singapore Olympic Academy. This milestone is not only a celebration of the NOA's inspiring work, but also a reminder of the vital role that the National Olympic Academies play in ensuring that the Olympic values remain alive and relevant in the lives of young people and societies around the world. When we reflect on the history of Olympism, we usually think of the ancient Olympic Games, the vision of Pierre de Coubertin, and the great moments of sport that have inspired humanity. Yet today, in this hall in Singapore, our duty is not only to honor that history, but to look ahead. All of us that are involved in the Olympic movement can shape the future. The topic we are going to present, Shaping Tomorrow, the Future of Sport and the Role of NOAs and NOCs in Olympic Education, from Values to Action, is both timely and urgent. Sport today stands at a crossroads. We are living in a world of profound transformation, technological, environmental, cultural, and social. These changes are reshaping the way athletes train, the way people engage, the way communities live, and the way nations interact. The question before us, it's clear. Here you go. How can the Olympic movement guide these changes rather than simply be guided by them? The answer lies in education. It's what we do. And not just education, but education grounded in values. Education that connects ideals with practice. Not only theory, but practice as well. Education that equips young people not only to compete in sport, but to live fully as citizens of the world. Here in Singapore, a nation that has long praised education as the foundation for societal success, this question resonates deeply. Singapore has shown how a small country can achieve global influence through knowledge, innovation, and values. By hosting the first ever Youth Olympic Games, am I going all right? Go one by one. The first Youth Olympic Games in 2010, Singapore, where the most important institution began, Singapore marked a historic milestone in Olympic history, offering a new platform for young athletes to celebrate excellence, friendship, and respect. Later, by hosting events like the inaugural Olympic Esports Week in 2023, Singapore has further demonstrated its readiness to lead the dialogue on the future of sport, integrating tradition with innovation and local leadership with global vision. Education is not merely an academic exercise. It's about shaping lives, communities, and the moral compass of a generation. It's about courage, wisdom, and the responsibility to act. So here today in Singapore, because of this great initiative of the Singapore National Academy, we will speak about the future of sport, and especially we will speak about matters such as, let me go here to make sure that, because that goes one by one, not in my computer. Okay. All right. Here today we'll speak about artificial intelligence and the human dimension of sport, the esports and the redefinition of competition, sustainability and the climate challenge, gender equality from progress to transformation, human rights and the dignity of the athlete, and of course about the IOA, its role within the Olympic movement, and about the NOAs and their role in the Olympic movement. Okay. Artificial intelligence and the human dimension of sport. Artificial intelligence is no longer science fiction. It's here, and it's transforming sport in ways unimaginable just a decade ago. From biometric analysis to injury prevention, from personalized training programs to predictive modeling, AI is revolutionizing performance. It helps coaches optimize training, detect weaknesses, and maximize every athlete's potential. It assists referees and officials in decision-making, enhancing fairness and accuracy. It even enhances fan engagement through immersive personalized experiences. In the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games, AI-driven camera systems tracked athlete movements in real time, giving audiences an unprecedented level of insight into the performance dynamics. European football leagues now use AI to predict injury risks and adapt training loads, extending careers and protecting athlete health. In Paralympic sport, not only in the Olympics, AI has enabled the development of more efficient prosthetics, allowing athletes to push human limits safely. Yet, with all this promise comes some profound questions. If performance is increasingly guided by algorithms, where do we draw the line between natural ability and technological advancement? How do we preserve unpredictability, spontaneity, and the human element that makes sport captivating? Sport is not mathematics. Sport is a drama of human effort, the beauty of imperfection, and the triumph of spirit over limitation. The Olympic movement must not reject technology. Rather, it must guide it. AI should remain a servant, not a master. Used wisely, it can expand access, protect athlete health, and make sport more inclusive. But the core principle must remain. At the heart of every competition is the human being, not the machine. Okay. Esports and the redefinition of competition. Another force reshaping the landscape of sport is the rapid increase of esports. For millions of young people worldwide, competitive gaming is their first structural encounter with competition, from gaming to competition. They train, compete, and build communities mirroring many structures of traditional sport. Singapore, as I said, by hosting the Olympic Sports Week in 2023, demonstrated global leadership in connecting the Olympic movement with youth culture. This initiative bridged digital sport and Olympic values, showing that innovation can complement tradition rather than replace it. Esports raise profound questions, though. What defines a sport? How can digital competition be integrated into the Olympic world without diminishing the value of physical activity and human connection? Oh, go back one. All right. Can digital arenas truly embody respect, excellence, friendship, the Olympic values, as we talk all the time? The challenge is not whether esports will grow. They will definitely. We cannot stop it, and we should not. The challenge is whether they will carry the Olympic spirit. If esports are to enter the Olympic family, a discussion we know, and we're going to have them, the first Olympics in Saudi Arabia quite soon, they must embrace values, not just competition. The task of Olympic institutions like the IOC, the International Olympic Academy, the National Olympic Academies, the work you are doing, is to ensure this alignment, creating programs that blend digital gaming with lessons of respect, teamwork, and global citizenship. Sustainability and the climate change, another matter for the future of sports. No issue today is more urgent than the climate crisis. Here you go. Sport does not exist in isolation from the planet. Rising temperatures, extreme weather, and environmental degradation directly threaten athletes, events, and communities. We have witnessed marathons in dangerous heat, ski resorts without snow, and coastal venues at risk from rising seas. Yet sport can also be a leader in environmental action. Paris 2024 committed to being the first carbon-neutral Olympic Games. Singapore, as a city-state emphasizing sustainability and green innovation, demonstrates how urban planning, eco-friendly infrastructure, and environmental education can coexist with world-class sporting events. Sport can teach us that sustainability is not abstract, it's lived. Energy-efficient stadiums, sustainable transport, and climate-conscious operations are more than logistics. They are lessons in citizenship. Athletes themselves are powerful voices for environmental stewardship. When they speak, the young people listen to them. After all, what value is a global medal if the field of play itself is destroyed? Gender equality. The Tokyo 2020 Games achieved nearly 50-50 participation between men and women, marking historic progress. Paris 2024 went even further, becoming the first Olympic Games in history to achieve complete gender parity on the field of play. Yet, equality is more than numbers. Important gaps remain in leadership positions, coaching, pay equity, media visibility, and opportunities across the sporting world. The challenge ahead is to transform numerical equity into genuine equity, a culture where women have equal power, representation, and recognition at every level of sport. Looking ahead, Los Angeles 2028, in 3 years, can become a model for this transformation by ensuring that gender equality extends beyond the competition arena into governance, education, and innovation, shaping a truly inclusive Olympic future. Athletes like Allyson Felix, who fought for maternity rights, show that equality is about dignity, opportunity, and respect. Across Asia, women athletes are becoming national icons, challenging cultural barriers. True transformation requires cultural change. Girls feeling safe to play, women's sport receiving equal recognition, leadership, shared equally. Olympic education is central here again, showing students, athletes, and communities that fairness is both principle and practice. Human rights and the dignity of the athlete. As the core of Olympism is the dignity of every human being. Sport can protect and promote human rights, but it can also fail when abuses are ignored. Yusra Martini, a Syrian refugee and member of the refugee Olympic team, illustrates sports' power to restore hope and identity. The Special Olympics empower individuals with intellectual disabilities, yet cases of harassment, abuse, and exploitation remind us of the work still needed to be done. Participation in sport is a human right. Safeguarding athletes from abuse, discrimination, and political exploitation is a defining responsibility of our time, is a defining responsibility of ours, guys. The Olympic movement must act decisively, modeling courage, vigilance, and justice. For all the above reasons, we are here today. That is why Olympic education matters more than ever before. That's why our job matters more than ever before. People in this room have such a great responsibility for this. And the future of sport is shaped not only by technology, climate, and equality, but by education. Education is a solution. And that is the most important role that the International Olympic Academy and the National Olympic Academies worldwide have to play, to disseminate the dialogue about all of the above matters, all of the matters I have talked to you, to prepare related educational programs, to open up not only to the Olympic world, but also to the general public, translating Olympic values into real-world action and using them for a more humane world, Olympism. Let's speak about the IOA now for a few minutes, and then my colleague Alex will speak to you about the role of the NOAs. So I'm going to go fast, next slides, to talk to you a little bit about, to show you more about the IOA. You can see our campus here, and we are part of the Olympic Charter. Some of you were already there. I hope that the rest make it sometime soon. You can see that the Olympic Charter defines the role of the IOA, because it says that one of the roles of the IOC is to encourage support activities of the International Olympic Academy and other institutions which dedicate themselves to Olympic education. Our vision, the vision of the International Olympic Academy, is to become, or to remain, to say better, the global center of Olympic education. And when we say Olympic education, we mean education in Olympism and through Olympism. And that makes a difference. We're not here only to speak about values, without helping the people who are listening to us, how we can use values to progress professionally, family-wise, individually. Our offer, education and inspiration through Olympism. Actually, IOA's power is the network of professors, and the setup provides for expression of opinions, freedom to talk about Olympism and its application in everyday life. And in order to do that, IOA is working along with all the NOAs around the world, like we're here today, and 2 days ago we're at Chinese Taipei, and next month we'll start in Saudi Arabia again, our diploma, and goes on. Our purpose, the power of Olympic education for a more humane and connected world. So that's our role. All of us working in Olympic education is to point out what is the power of education in changing people's life. Here you see some of the programs we run. at the IOA, some our own programs, the sessions, seminars, and certificates, some collaborative programs like the master's programs with university in Greece. We run diplomas with academies around the world. The most prominent is the one we run with Saudi Olympic Academy. And then we host a number of events from other NOAs or from other sporting institutions. We have a great reach. IOA was established in 1961, so now we're almost 65 years operating. More than 100,000 young people have come through and attending our programs. More than 500 Olympic specialists have the chance to talk to these young people. And we have hosted almost more than 150 Olympic committees and 200 Olympic academies, or the other way, 150 academies had 206 Olympic committees. Actually, every year, more than 6,000 people from Greece and abroad, they visit and they have a chance to attend one of our programs in ancient Olympia. Members from inside the Olympic family and members from outside the Olympic family. Our stakeholders are a lot inside the Olympic movement: the academies, the Olympic committees, the international federations, the national federations, Olympic study centers, athletes, Olympians, coaches, doping organizations, anti-doping organizations, associations of coaches, and goes on. And we have stakeholders outside the Olympic movement, like from tourism, from educational, universities and everything, various foundations, state organizations, and even from the private public sector, a number of corporations. They're coming there for their own events, and they integrate and mingle with our courses for Olympic education. IOA has a number of channels. I'm not going to spend time for that. Printed and digital media, media platforms, our website, publications, proceedings of our sessions. We have the biannual journal 2 times per year. And here, a brief look in our premises. They are all inclusive, located in ancient Olympia. You can see here, this is the village of ancient Olympia, the first ever Olympic stadium, the stadium of the ancient Olympic Games. And here, all this area is the International Olympic Academy premises, with all-inclusive, with rooms, sport facilities. I'll go through that. We are offering services in a very high level, especially after the renovation of the International Olympic Academy with the support of the IOC. And we have a conference center. Some of you have seen it. We have there an amphitheater for 400 seat capacity. We have additional rooms for our programs, for smaller groups, for our master's programs, for focus groups, for round tables. And then we have a library, the second biggest in the world after the World Library of the IOC. Recently, a week ago, we connected our library with a system of the Olympic World Library, so you can visit that through the website and you can have access to huge resources, not ours, but all the network of libraries, of Olympic libraries. We're hosting the archives of the Athens 2004 Olympic Games there, so it's a nice chance to see it when you come. Of course, one of the major things, it's, the International Olympic Academy was the dream of Pierre de Coubertin. So when he died, his body was buried in Lausanne, but his heart has been brought here inside this monument. So because he always said that my heart is in Olympia, where the Olympic Games start and Olympism has been originated. We are having a restaurant, cafeteria, and then a number of accommodation rooms for more luxury, single rooms, double rooms, triple rooms, and then a number of sport facilities, track and field and football, beach volleyball, basketball, tennis. Batul has tested all of them, so we're sure they are going well. And tennis courts, and of course we have our swimming pool, or not only for swimming and recreation. We are organizing parties there every time we have sessions because it's important to get together. And we have indoor sports like table tennis. And thanks to Mr. Isidoros Kouvelos, for a long time president of the International Olympic Academy, and now the president of the Hellenic Olympic Committee, is actually our leader for a long time, and Mr. Sermiang. The IOA remains today the global center of the Olympic education. Mr. Kouvelos, thank you very much. You might not realize yet your contribution to that, but the years to come, people will understand how important was your role and how have you defined yourself with Olympic education, not only in our country, but worldwide. Again, thank you very much and congratulations. And Dr. Tsolakis, you have a heavy burden to carry on. We will support you to do your best, and we're sure that with your academic background and that you will contribute to take IOA even further. The NOAs partnership with the IOA, their role, their work, their willingness to work with us. I have to read my stuff here because Alexandra will be yelling at me. So the IOA is not planning, operating, and evolving in isolation. The work is being done along with a network of more than 100 active, because more than 150 have been established. Thanks God, more than 100 are active NOAs around the world. They are our partners, our inspiration sources. One of them is yours, I mean, for the Singaporean and the other guys. And actually, the Singapore Olympic Academy for us is on the top tier of our list, whose partnership, work, and willingness make our lives meaningful and our hopes for a better future totally justifiable. Right away, right after me now, my colleague, Mrs. Alexandra KARAISKOU, the head of the IOA's, NOCs, NOAs relations, will speak to you about the role of the NOAs worldwide. Later on, one of our best partners, the director of one of the most progressive and active NOAs, the Saudi Olympic Academy, Mrs. Batul Al-Baroum, will elaborate on the excellent work this NOA is doing and how it has also helped the IOA in taking its work from ancient Olympia abroad, an innovative project that Alexandra and Batul are planning and operating together, and I would like to thank them publicly and congratulate them for this work. So I don't know if I'm going to say it right, but thank you. Ευχαριστώ in Greek. Terima kasih. All right, so Alexandra, please join us to speak about the family affairs. Thank you.
I think I'm okay. I think, yes. The pointer. The pointer.
Okay, good morning, dear Director of the Singapore Olympic Academy. Thank you very much for the invitation. Dear President of the Hellenic Olympic Committee, dear IOA President, dear IOA Director, dear participants and guests, good friends from National Olympic Academies and National Olympic Committees. It is also a great honor for me to be here after 15 years in Singapore, after the first Youth Olympic Games that took place, this historic event that gave life to a new institution in Olympic movement. For the IOA, being part of that educational network under the initiative of the IOA president back then, Mr. Isidoros Kouvelos, was deeply inspiring for us. It showed us other paths and made us believe even more stronger in our mission. These are some photos from the booth we had in the Olympic Village. the educational booth. And the reason I'm showing these photos to you is to show you how important was that for us, because we were not only presenting ideas back then, we engaged directly to the athletes and the young participants outside Olympia. And this gave us motivation to broaden our activities furthermore, reminding us of a timeless truth, that Olympic education is most powerful when it speaks directly to young people. But inspiration is not enough to transform youthful energy into long-lasting impact. There must be structures, there must be institutions and channels that carry these values into the everyday life. And this is exactly what the NOAs, the National Olympic Academies, are designed to sustain. They ensure that the Olympic flame lit in such moments does not fade, but continues to burn brightly across schools, communities and societies. So the NOAs are not peripheral institutions, they are the essential extensions of the International Olympic Academy. Their creation was a strategic response to the need for a deeper and wider dissemination of Olympic values and principles. Since their formal endorsement by the IOC in 1983, under the presidency of Juan Antonio Samaranch, and their incorporation into the Olympic Charter in 1991, NOAs have become indispensable pillar of the Olympic education, bringing the spirit of Olympism into local communities worldwide. The Olympic Charter itself underscores the responsibility of the NOCs to establish a National Olympic Academy, and this is not an option, it is a duty. So we arrive at the central question, why the NOAs are fundamental pillars of the Olympic movement. The answer lies in their mission. The NOAs bring the Olympic values into schools, into universities, into sports clubs, communities, into the daily life of young people and athletes. Under the guidance of the IOA, the NOAs innovate, adapt and extend their influence, ensuring that Olympic values are not only celebrated, but they are lived, they are shared, and they are passed on across generations. In other words, they transform the philosophy of Olympism into a lived reality. They are the link between Olympia and the world, between philosophy and practice, between ideals and action. Sport nowadays, shaped by technology, by culture, by politics, by the environment, the question is not whether sport will change, it is already changing. The question is whether you, the educators, the leaders, will guide this transformation in the correct direction, in the direction of human dignity, of peace and solidarity. And this is the reason that the role of Olympic education, and especially the NOAs, becomes so significant. So what is an NOA and what role does it play in the Olympic movement? When we speak of NOAs, it is important to see that an NOA is not simply an office or a symbolic presence attached to a National Olympic Committee. A National Olympic Academy refers to an institution or a commission officially recognized by the respective NOC, entrusted with the responsibility to promote Olympic education and spread the principles and values of Olympism through educational initiatives. These institutions should collaborate with schools, universities, sport organizations, ministries, in order to organize and implement educational programs and projects. In this sense, the NOAs are central. Allow me to use a metaphor that I like very much, that the International Olympic Academy in Olympia is the heart of Olympic education, while the national Olympic academies are the lifeblood. Without the NOAs, the values of Olympism would remain confined to the IOA in Olympia, circulating among a small group of scholars and students that they participate in the sessions. So what makes NOAs unique within the Olympic movement is their multidimensional mission and role. This fivefold mission that sets the NOAs as transformative agents in the Olympic movement are the following. We have, just a moment to just add them all. We have the educational and cultural transformation, where the NOAs embed Olympic values in curriculum, they design learning materials, they train teachers and inspire young leaders. The NOAs foster a strong Olympic culture, shaping young people's mindsets and promote a lifelong respect, friendship and excellence. We have the social transformation. The NOAs run programs for marginalized communities, promote gender equality, and use sport as a platform for peace and inclusion. We also have the sport transformation. The NOAs serve athletes in ways that go beyond the performance. They offer various seminars on ethics, workshops on safeguarding, and initiatives that prepare the athletes for career transitions, helping them in their personal growth in order to become role models for society. Athletes also participate in social responsibility initiatives, visiting schools, communities. We also have the political and institutional transformation. By influencing policy and creating networks, the NOAs ensure that Olympic education is institutionalized within national systems. Working with ministries of sports, ministries of education, and universities ensures sustainability. Lastly, we have the scientific and technological transformation. Some NOAs collaborate with research institutions to explore different topics, even the impact of new technologies such as AI on training and competition, and this ensures that educational initiatives are modern, effective, and relevant. So that makes clear that the NOAs are not replicas of the national Olympic committees. They are unique entities with a hybrid identity: educational, cultural, social, and sporting. What is the relationship with the IOA? NOAs, as the director said, as the president said, do not act in isolation. They are part of a network that begins in Olympia at the International Olympic Academy. The IOA provides the philosophical foundation, the vision, and the guidance. It is there in Olympia that they are inspired to return home and create national initiatives. The IOA transmits vision, and the NOAs translate vision into action. According to the IOA's archive, 153 National Olympic Academies have been established worldwide out of a total of 206 NOCs. This year, we are proud to witness a remarkable increase in the number of participants attending the NOA's NOC session in Ancient Olympia, which is being held on an annual basis. 140 delegates from almost 100 countries around the world, compared to the average of 90 participants attending in previous years. So many NOCs without a National Olympic Academy have expressed interest in establishing one, while others are taking steps to reactivate their NOA. And this is a clear indicator of the growing commitment to Olympic education and the success of the IOA strategic roadmap. Throughout the recent years, the International Academy has expanded its reach beyond its historic base in Ancient Olympia, by bringing Olympic education directly to countries around the world through tailored programs developed in collaboration with NOAs, universities, and other institutions. The IOA delivers on-site educational initiatives that engage diverse targeted groups, including NOC executives, national federations, and officials from ministries of sport and education, establishing in this way a dynamic and decentralized educational network in societies worldwide. Notable examples are the Saudi Olympic Academy, actually our first step in this great effort, and we really thank them for believing in this project. Also the National Olympic Academies of Bahrain, Thailand, Chinese Taipei, and Colombia, as well as the Beijing Institute for International Olympic Studies. These scientific programs have been designed with lectures and workshops by distinguished professors, university professors, covering a broad range of topics from the history of Olympism and Olympic philosophy to current issues of the Olympic movement with global interest. The IOA does not simply inspire the NOAs, but it guides and supports them as well. So the general role includes these global programs that I have already mentioned. The reactivation, we try to assist weaker or inactive NOAs to rebuild their structures and return to meaningful activity. We try to help the NOCs that do not have an NOA to establish one. And we collaborate, we work hand in hand with the NOAs, with the active NOAs, to expand even more their outreach. Following the initiative of the IOA director, Mr. ASIMAKOULOUPOS, and the guidance of the former president, Mr. Kouvelos, the current president, Mr. Tsolakis, and the IOA advisor, Professor Gangas, we are creating requirements in order for the NOAs to be officially recognized by the IOA while respecting their independence. These criteria will represent a framework that ensures the vitality and integrity of the NOAs in each nation. By adhering to these standards, the NOAs will achieve official recognition, which will open then the door to collaboration, resources, and global visibility. And then the NOAs will be empowered to build strong and well-governed institutions. So the criteria are divided into institutional and educational. With regard to the compulsory institutional requirements, there has to be alignment with the core definition and purpose of the NOA, as well as the submission of an annual or biannual report. We need to keep a record of what the NOAs are doing. It's really important because this contributes to the professionalism and sustainability of each NOA. Also, we have the optional criteria. It is strongly recommended that the NOAs develop their own statute or set of regulations in order to operate efficiently. And lastly, we have the educational activities. They are required to be engaged at least in 4 educational activities within the period of 2 years. Because these activities can make Olympism accessible to a wider audience. So what are the NOAs actually doing? Values alone are not enough. Unless they are lived, they remain abstract. Action is what gives values life. And action must happen at 3 levels. We have the individual level, the institutional level, and the society one. Imagine, for example, let's take an athlete who must learn respect not only on the field of play, but also in their relationships, in their career, in their lives. In a school, the children must learn about Pierre de Coubertin alongside history, and they should practice friendship as much as they practice mathematics. In societies, the Olympic Games should not only be seen only as a spectacle, but also as a catalyst for dialogue, for peace, for cultural exchange. So the true strength of the NOAs lies in what they actually do. According to a survey by the IOA over the past 10 years, various fields of action have been classified, revealing common threads, good practices, and potential areas for improvement. And this is an extremely useful tool for us in order to analyze and understand the different activities on Olympic education. These initiatives, emphasizing both youth engagement and professional development, they include the Olympic education programs, the annual sessions that the NOAs organize, like the one we are here. And for us, it's really encouraging to see participants from different NOCs, from different countries. We have the organization of Olympic Day, Olympic Week, where they host sports, educational and cultural events to involve the whole community in celebrating the Olympic values. We have the educational seminars for coaches and athletes, as well as online courses. And we have also publications, exhibitions, organizing school tours in libraries to promote the Olympic idea, and also the organization of summer camps and festivals. These initiatives, I wish I could have time to share with you best practices of different NOAs. These initiatives demonstrate the depth and adaptability of the NOAs, allowing Olympic values to reach diverse audiences in both local and global contexts. So the IOA's global network of NOAs is not static. It is evolving into a living ecosystem of education and innovation. So these cases offer us inspiration, but they also pose a challenge. If some NOAs are strong, why are others weak? Why do so many exist only on paper? And what must be done to ensure that every NOC establishes not only an NOA in paper, but a strong one? We face the essential question, what future lies ahead for the NOAs? So we live in a world of rapid technological change, shifting cultural identities, political instability, ecological crisis. So the NOAs must really play a decisive role. They must move from the symbolic presence to systematic impact. So what can we do? The first priority for the future must be universal presence and minimum standards. Every NOC should not only establish an NOA, but commit to at least a basic program of activities. Either this includes youth education, teacher training, cultural initiatives. The IOA in turn must continue to support weaker NOAs, helping them build capacity, share resources, and learn from stronger models. So a global network of NOAs, each meeting minimum standards, would ensure that Olympic education is truly universal. I have already proceeded to the second step, the capacity building, digital platforms and cross-border partnerships. So the second priority is capacity. Many NOAs operate with limited budgets and personnel, but new opportunities exist. Digital platforms can allow NOAs to reach thousands of young people at low cost everywhere, in every corner of the world, with online courses, certification programs, interactive online exhibitions, and they can have a powerful impact. I would like to show another slide now, but it's getting okay. We have the deeper collaboration with the IOA. Too often academies operate in isolation, unaware of what others are doing. So the IOA should continue to serve as a hub where NOAs share best practices, not only in abstract, but through concrete joint educational programs. And we have the policy impact, embedding Olympic education in national systems. For NOAs to thrive, Olympic education must not depend only on voluntary enthusiasm. It must be embedded in national systems, particularly in educational frameworks. This means working with ministries of education to include Olympic values in the curriculum. It means ensuring that teacher training institutes, universities, and research centers collaborate with NOAs. It means influencing sports governance so that values, ethics, and human rights are not side projects but central pillars. I want to give you an example before with the digital world and the AI. Just imagine that if Pierre de Coubertin were alive today, which means would he use in order to transmit the Olympic values? I think the correct answer is obvious to you. So, if these priorities are met, universal NOAs, digital expansion, the use of technology, collaborative networks, and policy integration, then the future will see the NOAs transformed into a global system of values education. But to make this vision real, we need plans. We need commitment, leadership, and inspiration. Each of us should ask, what will I do when I leave this hall? Will I carry with me memories of discussions and lectures, or will I carry with me a mission? The Olympic Games may last only 2 weeks, but Olympism is timeless. And the task of the NOAs, your task, our task, is to ensure that this light never fades. As the HOC, the Hellenic Olympic Committee president, already stated in his address speech, the Olympic movement does not belong to the past, it belongs to the future. And the future is built not in words, but in action. So, let us leave this hall not only inspired, but committed. The Olympic movement is not somewhere else. The Olympic movement is here, and it is now. So, thank you very much for everything, for being here, for the invitation, for meeting you, and I wish good works of the session.
Let us apologize for taking a bit more time than we've been availed. I'm sorry, Katie, for that, but I thought that's useful what we said. Let me also say that one of the academies we're working together lately, we have signed an MOU, is the Chinese Olympic Academy, so we have Beth here. And to tell you that through the Singapore Olympic Academy, we will deliver our presentations, so you all have them. I can see you taking pictures and everything, so we will deliver to you our presentations. We are already here, so you take it with you. So I don't know if there is time for any questions. It's up to you now, because we are running late. Katie, tell us what to do.
Thank you. Now we would like to invite Dr. Koh to be the moderator of the Q&A segment. And so we have a mic that will be passed around. If you have a question, please raise up your hand and we'll pass you a mic. And then we'll have our guests to answer your questions.
Chinese Taipei, did they do the hybrid session? I wasn't there. This relates to Mark's question. I said I will ask you this.
Okay, so once again, thanks to the two speakers. Wonderful presentation. give the opportunity to the physical audience, because we also have online audience. So they are given very good rich information about the future of sports and also how NOA or NOC can play a part.
Because he never used mic.
He needs to use the mic, if not it wouldn't.
Anyone from the room? I would like to start off with the first question. Good. Identify yourself and also where you are coming from.
Hi, good morning.
Thank you.
My name is Arif.
My name is Arif. I'm from the National Olympic Committee of Malaysia. I was just appointed by our executive board to be the person in charge for the National Olympic Academy, but unfortunately, we haven't had our handover process just yet. But I was just wondering, in terms of support to the NOAs, for somebody who has not done Olympic education before, because I'm an assistant secgen of the NOCs, so they wanted somebody from the board to be in charge of the NOA so that there's a kind of proper linkage and support can be given better. But what kind of support do you guys offer to people in terms of perhaps a template or training for the people who are going to take over to ensure there's some kind of consistency and continuity, because that's a real challenge. That's the lived reality of NOCs. Sometimes if you get lucky, there's a proper handover. If you get unlucky, there's no handover and you have to start from scratch. Do you have that support? Thank you.
Yes, first of all, congratulations on your new role. We wish you best luck. I would say that there are different steps. First of all, we give personalized meetings with each NOA for us to learn their needs, and then we try to inform them of what the NOA should do, of how they should do it. And then, of course, we try to include them into our global network of NOAs. It's really important that they, when we have a session, that they come and share knowledge, learn what the other NOAs are doing. They get inspiration, they get insight on educational programs. And I think that this is a very good beginning for the newly NOAs, but the people that are getting a new role.
I think that your NOA is one of the active ones. It's not like now I understand with your role through the National Committee and you are involved in other things as well. So you have the power to get the resources and to support people, not to progress even more. So we are willing to have a meeting to go through each one of the steps, like Alexandra said, then we have a number of documents, like our proceeding on previous session, and other documents about how and examples about other ways and what they do. And of course, those are always available, either to visit you and get the details about the various events that the NOA could do, or to have a visit from your side, whenever you decide with people, discuss about how we can train them and train others. But as I said, your NOA is an active one, and now with your presence and your powers, and because you are part of a strong system, I think that you can further promote the job. We put here support. Congratulations, and be strong. And wait some time, or build a team around you, and we will work with you and you.
I think we should try to ask this one, because it's not nice.
Morning. My name is Dipak from Thailand. I just have probably an issue or the ideas or question to you, Alexandra, and also Professor, regarding the policy integration. The policy integration, especially for the national education framework. Okay, in our case in Thailand, it's very difficult to talk to the teachers and especially for the Ministry of Education Recently, we just quite successful in putting the Olympic values into our national sport development plan. The first time in 30, 40 years to have the word Olympic values in the sport plan. Okay, but when we talk to the Ministry of Education, it's quite another story. A few months ago, I have a chance to talk to the Secretary General of the Ministry of Education, and the first action is that no, it's better for us to talk to the PE teacher first and let the PE teacher going up to the policy. So, I mean, the difficulty is this, Alexandra. When we talk about the Olympic values, we are touching about the culture. And culture and education is almost the same thing, especially when we talk about the nationalism. Sometimes we are afraid that Olympic values is westernized or not, is Christian or not. And in Thailand, we have our Buddhism. And we also have our own national values, which is sometimes not, directly aligned with the Olympic values. We try to explain we are universal, okay? So I just would love to have your comments if there are some best practice around the world about this thing to put the Olympic values into the national framework or not. Thank you.
Nipat,
It's not about the politics, okay? It's about
no, it's,
education.
Nipat, really thank you for the question. I think it's one of the most difficult questions because we can understand that we in theory say that the NOAs should work with the Ministry of Sport, but in reality, in practice, in many countries, it is difficult. I would say that this is why the NOA really recommends that always. The NOA should be in a strong and deep relationship with the NOC. It's really important. The NOC of the country, I think, has power to be in alignment with the respective ministry, and then maybe the NOA can have the results that we expect. I cannot think of any other solution.
So the camera can catch to them.
I can understand maybe
because it's down.
NOA delegates have the same problem over the past years, and I think that
having the Olympic values program part of the school curriculum is the ultimate step, meaning that the educational system has accepted that and has made it part of the curriculum of every school. But let's not get there. This is like the last step. There are first steps like you can talk with the Ministry of Education or even with the local regions and train the trainers. So you invite physical education or school teachers and you give them the knowledge so they can do it during the physical education time or out. This is the first step. The second is you can convince them to do it partially. You have in an Olympic Center, you have something there like we have the IOA, and then you invite groups from schools, the days of excursions, just to spend it with you, and you give them a first taste of what is Olympic education, about the values, about our programs. So, and you have to go step by step. You convince them first, allow the teachers, some of the teachers groups to come to you and talk about it. Then you have the students coming in groups. And of course, as Alexandra said, you use the power of your National Olympic Committee, and you do have this relationship, and use our power, the power of the National Olympic Academy, and the relation with the National Olympic Committee. So anytime you need us, in order to give you some leverage when you're negotiating time and money with your ministry, please use us. We'll do this with great pleasure. Okay? Good.
Just check the online. Do you have any? Maybe just one was online. If there is, then we know we take the last questions.
Yes, we do have a question from online. In fact, this lady is from Austria. It may be a similar question to the one before. However, she wants to ask, as you mentioned, the sport world is rapidly changing, and in my opinion, at least in Austria, the divide between where the world is developing to and the work of lawmakers and stakeholders in sport is growing. How do you suggest we work against this growing divide, especially in the realm of education?
I'm sorry, I didn't get it all.
No problem, I'll
It's
just
very
say-
generic, so we need to make sure that we...
The divide between where the world is developing to where the work of lawmakers and stakeholders in sport is growing. How do you suggest we work against this growing divide, especially in the realm of education?
Well, it's about the entire work of the Olympics and the Olympic movement. We are all working in a divided world. And so we need to stress the role of education. I don't know how to tell, but the sport has the power to speak to the people without language barriers, without national barriers, without religious barriers. The sport has the power to unite people, and then that's our role. Stress that and use educational programs or educational changes or people from the academic or the sport world in order to speak to our local politicians and national politicians and allow us space to help them for a less divided world. If I understand very well. So it's a very generic question, it's a very good one, but that's the challenge of the current time. How we can use sport to create, have less tension, or wherever there is tension, to play a role for a more peaceful world.
I totally agree, and I just something to add that this is what Olympic education is doing. It educates the people, the young people, to start integrating the Olympic values in the way they live. And I think that the change first must come from inside us, and then be expanded into society.
I'm not going to raise a question, but I'm going to state a few things which I believe must stay in your mind all the time. Some fundamental of our policies. What is policies? What is policies? How policies will be asked and why Olympics and Olympic Games were revived? What was the real purpose? That's a question. One question. Second question is, what is the role of the NOCs? Do we know what is the role? And what the NOCs have to do in the time they be established? Who can reply to that? The statute of the Greek of the Olympic says, among others, that it's first of all, to disseminate Olympic education all over Greece. This is the first. Second, to prepare the athletes to compete for Olympic Games, for championships, Canadian Games, etc. So, and of course, we have other publications which is like the Olympics, which does not concern the other Olympics. It's a privilege of Greece to have the right to like labels, etc. So the two basic are disseminated education and prepare the others. I believe, I have not read all of it, start with the other Olympics, but I believe the same issues are for every Olympic. So the question is now, do they do that? Do they comply with the statute about the idea of Olympics? the most important, the basic one is to disseminate your living education, your living values with the youth, and not only the youth, but coaches, athletes, and community. Do they do that? Most of them don't. We try very hard to have the NOCs to establish a national living academy. Why was it so difficult? Because the money they receive, the national committees, which of course some of this money given by the solidarity, is not spent for those reasons, for the education, spent for other things. First of all, for the preparation of the athletes, and of course, for the cost they have, administration cost. That is a big mistake. Because all these problems now, you are saying, about local cooperation with the ministry of education, etc., is because the national committees are not targeted at what they have to do, what is the real purpose, which is the real education. If the Ministry of Education sees that national committees is determined to educate, to disseminate education, then they are forced to follow. But it doesn't happen sometimes. So all of you ambassadors of the education, you can push on that, and also to other committees. You have to explain what is the real purpose. So let's go from the beginning. And reply the second question. What is Olympics? What was Olympic Games, the athletes? What was the real preparation for the athlete to win? The answer is that only. No. He was prepared in the gymnasium, the athlete, and everyone was prepared in the gymnasium. Gymnasium is something similar to the IOA. So, as a gymnasium, the young man was prepared to become a sportsman, an athlete, both in body and in mind, and in soul, to be a word which is only Greek, kalos kagatos, meaning good, and agatos, I don't know how to say it. But anyway, this is when you reach the excellence. Kalos kagatos means that you reach the excellence. And to reach the excellence is not only to win the medal. To reach the excellence only if you are a good man in the society. You can win the medal and the night before you win your wife. Have you reached the excellence? No. Doesn't mean that you win the medal, the Olympic medal, you can reach the excellence. Excellence is a very difficult and the most important Olympic value. To reach the excellence, you must prove that you are a correct person in the society. Correct person in the society can be achieved only through Olympic education. Because the values, as Makis said, the Alexandra values, it's not only positive values. Values are transcribed through the whole society and through all the education. If you become a mathematician, you become a technician, you become whatever you become in your life. Values, Olympic values, must be part of your education, in the field you decide to go. Now, let's go to the modern era and try to finish it. I think I said it. Παρόν Κουβερτές, and all the other people, not only Baron Κουβερτές, but also other people were trying for many years to revive the Olympics. What was the real, and why it happened with Κουβερτές? Because Κουβερτές had a vision. Κουβερτές was a young man, a young boy. He saw the dead bodies of young people after the French-Prussian war. They were going to the river. The rivers were full of blood. So what he said was what he thought. Let's try to have peace. Let's try to have friendship. Let's try to understand solidarity. How we can do that? Only through Olympic Games. This is the only solution. So let's try to revive the Olympic Games. And through sport, we can unite the youth, and we can inspire the people with the values and have a better world. The reason we invited the Olympic Games was not for someone to have a world record in the pole vault at 6:30. Does a world record is gentlemen every day, a new one. This is the purpose of the Olympic Games. No. The purpose of the Olympic Games is to have good person, good society through the Olympic values, first of all. Of course, sport is very good, through the sport. So, this was the reason the Olympic Games were invited. That's why he said, my heart go back to Olympia, because Olympia is the place everything started. And you know what I said to the young people that come to Olympia? Listen every night when you go to sleep. The heart of the is beating every day. You can hear the noise. And reminding you what you want to do. And we have to do it because you are the ambassador. You have to transpire, and you have to transmit this message to the whole world through your national committees, through the young people you educate, through everyone. So let's have all this in mind. This is my philosophical view about Olympics, Olympic Games, and sport, and how important are the values of education, and what you all have to do in your life to pass the message around. It's not acceptable in the National Committee not to have a National Olympic Academy and not to use the means of the National Olympic Academy. I met people from high-level countries like France, and they had a problem with the National Olympic Academy because the National Olympic Committee was not supporting them with this topic. So it's not only in places. We can see this problem in the developed countries. That this is a problem, and we have to fight for it. And we, as the national, so I'm talking about the National Academy, all the gentlemen, they said about the good work and all that for 4 terms in the academy. It was not 4 terms, I was 5 terms, so they are mistaken. They forgot my first term, which was in 2005 when I started as vice president, not as a president. So that's why the only thing I'm valuable when I'm president, not as vice president. So I was vice president for the first term 2005 and 2009, and that was the years I started and I created the postgraduate program. That was the years in 2007. The postgraduate program was approved, and it started working in 2009. It started working when I became president. That was not the reason. The whole thing started in 2005 and finished in 2007. So I'm very proud of this program because my first term, which they never mentioned by those gentlemen again, they only start counting from 2009, which is not correct. So I may say a lot, Professor, but I believe this is something you have to keep in mind. It's works, it's common sense works. So you have to be identified. Try to bring Olympic education and Olympic values in the youth people everywhere. And not only you have to educate the public, you have to educate the professionals, you have to educate all the people in the community. Educate the educators and the families, of course, because the family is the most important branch for the young families can bring up the young men or the young girls, but they can destroy the we have seen families creating tremendous problems. So very important to educate also the parents, because parents are the most valuable partner, the most valuable stakeholder in this mission we all follow. So that's all that I say. I want to say thank you very much and wish you luck and try to be the best for the Olympic movement for a new generation and come to be better and better and better. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President, for reminding us the importance of these Olympic values and education. So I think we're mindful of the time. I think those are key insights. You can keep that in mind because that will be something that we're going to dive deeper in your discussion. I think all of us are. I can be quite certain to say that we all see the importance. The question is how to help people that you are working with, also help them to see the importance of the work you are actually doing. these are the questions that we will try to address for the subsequent discussion, and I'm looking forward to hear from you from your presentation. So with that, can we put our hands together to thank you? On behalf of NOA, we have a special gift for two of them. So this is a special Singapore.
I thought you were going to give me a check.
It's better than a check. So it's an integrated, sports, hub that we have for Singapore. So thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Koh and our guest speakers. With that, we have concluded our first keynote session and we will go into our first learning groups. Our facilitators, you may now take over.
Hi, good morning everybody. I'm George. I'm one of the facilitators who will be helping you through the next 3 days essentially. So I know you've been seated for quite a bit. I'm going to have to get you seated for a little bit longer, but before that maybe you can just turn to your left, turn to your right, introduce yourself, shake hands, and get to know the person on your left and right now. Or behind you, in front of you. Just two people, just get to know them now.
I think need to tell them during the facilitating we won't be live stream, I think. So they can join later after lunch.
All right.
Start already.
Our friendship way back 1989. Knew each other. What time will it start?
I think it should be around after lunch. About 2-ish. Yeah, correct. The next keynote lecture is at 2. 2 o'clock. Yeah.
Because now all the way to lunch.
Yeah, correct. Now all the way to lunch.
Stephen is 90 years old. 94. You one guy. SOA how many years? We did
Okay. Now, this
then you can off, right?
I mean, I will just leave it open. Then I will try to see how to make it that everyone.
Yeah, because I want to do this setting. Like basically, they cannot unmute themselves. Just now, a few of them unmuted themselves actually. So it's only after I checked that I went to unmute. So they should not be able to do that. So must set the default.
Yeah.
Please be punctual for all the and be present at all the sessions. Be ready to share and contribute. I think it's sometimes better to be able to contribute, say what you have in your mind, than just be seated and take in everything. Okay? Everyone's expected to be present for the cultural evening, which happens tomorrow evening. Okay? We have international participants among us, okay, and they will be divided into various groups. So international participants, I encourage you to take the lead for the cultural evening presentations. So now you know there will be presentations for the cultural evening, right? Of course, when the sessions end on each day, you are permitted to leave the hotel premises, okay? But do let someone know where you're going or just go out.
It's in the mall.
Check, don't have it. I don't know where
have
is it.
discussions that will happen throughout today.
Cannot be, I'm not the host, right?
And the early part of Monday.
I think it's the setting
You
when
can
you're
use the
setting up
various
the
open
meeting itself.
spaces in the hotel. The facilitators do know where some of the spaces are and will try and direct you to these spaces. I think this is your session, basically. So what you take away from the session will be basically what you put into it. How much you take out of it, how much you find useful will be what you actually contribute to all the discussions that will take place.
I think you
within
changed
your
it.
groups and
You changed from, yeah,
outside
should be
of your
okay.
groups as well during the next 2.5 days. Okay. All right. What do we? Okay. What do we expect from you on day 3? Each group will have exactly 10 minutes, no more than 10 minutes, okay, to present, and there will be a 5 minutes question and answer session, which will open to the floor. Group presentations can be in any form. PowerPoint we can use Canva. You want to have practical demonstrations over here, by all means. Okay, it's about getting the message across. You should be identifying problems or issues in existence or that may arise, and propose action plans, strategies, and tools related to this. Using the tools related to the session, the future of sport. Okay. Topic presentations for each group need to be confirmed by the end of today. Your facilitators will help you in that process as well, and how you can actually craft your entire presentation. They will guide you in this process. Okay, but essentially they're not going to spoon feed you. You have to come up with the ideas, the questions, the topics yourself as a group come together and decide on what you want to address. Okay. Next. Right. Some of these are with your facilitators. Right. Some of the broad areas. The two main broad areas is one is the future of sport. There are some suggested topics and questions for your consideration. Try not to use this. Try to come up with other stuff that you might have in mind. Okay. These are questions you really encounter any roadblocks and really cannot think of anything else. Okay. And the next broad area would be the future role of the NOA and NOC in sport and education. So there are the two broad areas, future sport related more towards athlete, the games, etc. The other one, which is the NOA and NOC, will be geared towards administrators who are in this room. So see what fancies you and maybe zero in on what you think you can attack. Okay. Right. Now. We will expect everybody to join this group, essentially the WhatsApp group. So if you have your mobile phones with you, please try and join this group. If you have not already done so, the facilitators we will present you with this QR code again later if you are unable to join as well. Okay. Leave it on for another 10 seconds. And now where you're going to before I go to your groupings, Eliza's got something on the World Cafe.
Swimming, you want to brief or I can brief? Okay, so hi everybody. Short. Okay, for the World Cafe sharing, anyway, I'm Eliza, the one that has been spamming your email and WhatsApp. Yeah, for the World Cafe segment, thank you to those of you that have volunteered. I think we have almost a total of 7 or 8 NOAs that have stepped up to say that they want to volunteer. So that's great. And the segment would be from 4:30 to 6 o'clock today. And like I mentioned and reiterated in my email, this is a World Cafe sharing. So we're trying to keep the sharings informal, okay, short, sharp, and sweet, so that we have time for more group conversations after that. Okay, so each each NOA, okay, you have to keep your presentation to about 5 to 7 minutes max. So you can just show pictures, we don't need a lot of words, and then after that, we will have, after the first 3 or 4 presentations, we will have a group discussion. Okay, so you can mingle, you can go to the speakers, find out what else you want to know about the topic that they presented, about a particular program that they presented, ask all your questions. Or you can even bounce off ideas like say, oh, hey, I also did this in my NOA, that was really interesting, how do you do yours? And that's where learning and conversations happen. Okay, and then after the first 3 to 4 present, after your mini conversations, we will have the next round of 3 to 4 NOAs presenting. Okay, 5 to 7 minutes is good enough. All good? Okay, so later, Swimming, Terry, and myself, we will be facilitating the World Cafe segment. So I think we really look forward to all of your sharings because we have so many NOAs with us here today. So it'll be really exciting. All right, back to you, George. Sorry, one more thing. Please send over any of your presentation slides, if any, to my WhatsApp or my email, or you can, and we'll forward it on. Okay? All good? Thank you.
Alright, finally I think something you've been waiting for, your groups. Okay, we'll put this up later on as well. So let me introduce your facilitators. Okay, for group 1 will be Marriott, over there, and Dinesh. Okay, right at the back there. So group 1, please go and look for them. Group 2 will be Zulaika. Right at the back there as well, and Samuel, who's not here yet, he'll be joining us at lunch. Group 3, Zahir, okay, and Yaning, our MC. Right, so these will be groups 1, 2, and 3. You will be situated here for the start, okay, and then we'll see where else you may want to go later on. Next 4 groups. Group 4, Gabriel.
Hi everyone, I'm here. Group 4.
Valencia will join us at lunch as well. Group 5, it's me, George, okay, and May is right at the back there, okay. Group 6 will be Vignesh. He'll be running solo, okay. And group 7 will be Rodney and Sungwon, okay. Okay, so group 4 and 5, you will be on level 2, where you did your registrations. So that's where you'll be located, okay, the conference room. Group 6, you'll be at the coffee area at the level 1 next to the reception. And group 7, you'll be in the restaurant, the petite menu restaurant at level 2. Okay, so you might be the first ones to go for lunch. Okay, okay, so you've got time from now till lunch. The lunch break will start lunch break at 12:45, and the next lecture here starts at 2 p.m. Okay, so we will start punctually at 2 p.m. So please make sure you have your lunch, get ready, do whatever else you need, and be here by 1:55. All right. Thank you very much, facilitators. You may take over right now. Thank you very much.
I think we get off already.
Oh, so I end.
Yeah. And then we'll just do the settings now. So that there's only one All meetings in this series.
Group 7 over here. Group 7 over here.
Can I have the waiting room?
Group 7 over here.
Yeah, at waiting room. Sign into Zoom. Who can ask questions?
Test.
I think this is okay.
Okay.
Group 7 over here.
Off ah.
Yeah, off.
Thank you.
Normal.
Advance. Mute participants for entry. Automatically record, right?
Yeah.
Automatically post admin.
You want to type your email?
Testing one. Test.
Okay.
Test.
5. Oh.
Test.
Testing. Test. Mic testing.
Wow, now it's a Wi-Fi thing.
Testing mic
They are setting up
Yeah,
LAN
correct.
for
So
us, right?
hopefully,
Testing mic 1, 2, 3, mic test 1, 2. Test. Testing mic 1, 2, 3, mic test. Testing mic 1, 2, 3, mic test 1, 2. Test.
Mic test 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Test.
We try again after your
yeah.
meeting is converted.
Okay.
Okay, I got one. You can see this. I got one. I know. 我也是乱掉。This is the list I have. The latest one, my latest one, by grouping.
There's a Victor, but I don't see there. Can see Victor.